Statement of publication, Jessica.
Take notice that this regular agenda meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 12th day of February 2024 has been posted and advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Here.
Polisi.
Yes, here.
Anoha.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Sinarski. Dabrowski.
I usually would move the minutes.
Yeah, that's what you, yeah.
All right, so for the minutes, yes. I move the following minutes of the mayor and council be approved on roll call vote, subject to correction if necessary. We have the January 22nd, 2004 regular and agenda closed sessions to approve.
Second.
2024.
2024.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Anoha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay, we have a very pleasant duty tonight. Our Historical Society is going to be presenting proclamations and presentations. Mr. Terzino?
Sorry to block you guys. You can watch when you get home. Okay. Frank Terzino at 32 Canal Street, Ortown. Thank you for putting us on your agenda today. We definitely appreciate it. We hope you like our presentation. Hope you have an open mind and an open heart. So with that, we celebrated our 50th anniversary as a historical society. And I want to thank the mayor and council. We were presented with this proclamation marking our 50 years as a museum. It took a long time, but all the hard work, it paid off, and now we have something to be proud of. So 50 years, and we thank you for this. It'll be hanging next to our 25th anniversary, and hope we get a 75th. Okay. Okay, with that, can't read my own handwriting. I'd like to present Heather Pawsky, our corresponding secretary, to give a little review of why we're here.
I'm a little shorter than he is. Good evening. Thank you again for having us. So my main purpose here is just to kind of give some of the history about the old town hall / first firehouse in Sayreville. Back in 1876, when the Township of Sayreville was established, our governing body faced the challenge of finding suitable venues for meetings. They resorted to conducting their affairs in local hotels, taverns, businesses, and even private homes. As our township grew, it became evident that we needed a dedicated space to serve the needs of our community. However, it wasn't until April 1909 that the Township Committee decided to build a proper township hall. E.A. Fisher, a name you should all recognize, right? A generous member of the community at the time offered a 50 by 100 lot for the construction of the township hall. To ensure the architectural integrity of the structure, the committee enlisted the services of G.K. Parcell from New Brunswick as the architect. However, construction faced its share of difficulties and work came to a halt in 1910. When the initial mason encountered financial issues, Sayer and Fisher, a local business, stepped in and provided bricks and supplies at cost. Thankfully, new contractors were selected and the construction resumed. Over the years, the building served multiple functions. It was a venue for municipal meetings, such as what we're doing here today. It housed government offices, served as a police station, a jail, and even a firehouse. In 1913, due to overcrowding in school number 2, the meeting room was temporarily repurposed as a classroom, and the fire escape was installed to ensure safety. In 1941, the Borough Council decided to construct a new municipal building. The old town hall's role began to transition. On October 21st, 1942, the council moved to the new location, marking the end of an era. At this point, Sayreville Engine Company 1 took over as the sole occupants of the building until they moved to the MacArthur site in 1971. The building continued to serve the community in various ways. It became a place for organizations such as the Civil Air Patrol, further solidifying its importance as a gathering point for our borough. That concludes the history, and now I'm going to kick it over to Frank again so he can introduce the next person.
Thank you, Heather. You mentioned Civil Air Patrol and police, but here's a couple of things I found in Karcher's books in the museum. It was I'm going to repeat a few, but council chambers, borough clerk, tax collector, treasurer, water department, sewer department, sanitation, police department, jail, superintendent of streets, board of health, borough engineer. You would have loved it over there. Borough recorder, desk clerk, and actually there was an overseer of the poor that was in that building. So there's a lot of history and a lot of names and a lot of transactions took place. It's a very historic place. And now I'd like to bring on Jane.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jane Truzino. Thank you for having us. I'd like to point out that this is the third time I've been up here to talk about the firehouse, so if I repeat myself, just bear with me. The Sayreville Historical Society is asking for two things tonight. We're asking for the council to recognize the building as a local historic landmark. For the past several years, going back before COVID, the society has been trying to get it recognized as an historic site, and we believe that having local recognition will help us in getting state recognition and possible funding, because we want to restore that building. And we're hoping that you will join with us in this effort. We'd also like to ask your support in our creating a committee that will study opportunities and ideas to best utilize, preserve, and revitalize that building. Committee members would be at least the Historical Society president, council members, representation from the borough, representatives of the police, fire departments, and emergency squad, and other representatives of the Sayreville public. And we're hoping that you'll support us in that, and the committee may need to call upon both borough professionals as well as state and possibly other historic preservation officials. But I have some more exciting news as well. Recently, the Historical Society was nominated for the National Trust for Historic Preservation's Trustee Emeritus Award for Historic Site Preservation, which is very exciting. It's a big honor to us. I think we should get it just because I'm able to say that whole name. But we got that mainly because of the book that came out last year, Give 'Em Hell, Sayreville Goes to War. It recognizes our preservation of the photographs that were in that book that were displayed in Attorney Karcher's window downtown. And this book and those photographs also led to a recent donation of 300 letters written by Sayreville servicemen and women to the owner of Danny's Luncheonette, which was on Main Street, who, in an effort to keep up spirits, he wrote letters to all the servicemen and women that he had addresses for. Some of them wrote back. We're now in possession of those letters, and we are planning to share them with the public and have a large display at some point in the museum. We're just working on the details now. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you guys again for the time. There's a lot of history here. We're hoping you guys can come together and do the town something that's close to our hearts. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to play in there. I used to sit in the fire trucks. Yes, I'm that old. My uncle worked for the road department. We used to go, if the firemen were there, we'd sit there, ring the bell, and we had a good old time. So I have a lot of memories in that firehouse. And who knows what it could be? We don't know yet. We have a couple ideas, but we need you guys' help, the public, the fire, police, EMS, and just come up with a big plan, something we probably didn't think about yet. So we're just hoping you guys could help us out. Right now, we had some issues. If we do get as a local landmark, I believe we can get some emergency funds to fix the roof. We have a little leak. We had some windows popped out, and the DPW guys, Freddie, and Buildings and Grounds, on the attic floor, there was a hole in the window. and the plywood, they put the plywood over and cover so the birds don't go in there. So with some emergency funding, we can probably, fix some of those things that are pending, that imminent danger. Preservation New Jersey was supposed to be here. Kelly, she must have got caught in traffic. She's all over the state. But we were nominated last year as top 10 buildings to be endangered at Preservation New Jersey. That's a big honor also. So that was 2023. There's 10 historic buildings in danger of being lost. And we're one of the 10, and so we're working with that. So you guys have anything you want me to? Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank. Frank, do you want to leave that mural here? We'll put it in the hallway for everyone, or down on the,
I think we need to leave it in. We can give you
Okay.
copies.
okay.
Yeah, we have some.
Okay, you got them
originals.
framed, Heather? We can hang them on the wall or?
We can get you copies.
Okay,
Okay.
If you want to put them on the wall.
Yeah,
We have some
that'd be great.
original Pieces there, so we don't.
Okay, so in answer to your question, this governing body has 600 streets with accompanying curbs and sidewalks that we're expected to maintain, replace, and repair. I also have a burgeoning group of young people that would like to play in very good playing fields, recreational. There are many, there are things that people would like, and I will have to put this in with them, and then we have to prioritize because we only get in X amount of dollars. My understanding is, I think it's $1.5 million to bring this to code.
At least, that's what the Preservation New Jersey said, at least $1 million.
Can't hear Frank.
Preservation New Jersey says at least $1 million to get it up.
Yeah.
But we're not
So,
asking,
it takes it, it's in the line.
right. Yeah, we understand that part, but if we can get it on the list as a historic site, we could work with that. We don't need your check today. I'll see Denise after the
I don't
meeting.
think Denise would give me a check.
Yeah,
So,
but it's,
but it has to go, we're not going to start putting money into it till we know we can commit.
but we're just asking
And
for a
Glenn has to
designation.
start Glenn has to start to see if there are any grants. It's a process, Frank.
Yeah, I understand.
Mayor Art Rittenhouse, trustee, most of the money would come from grants. Preservation New Jersey has a list of different things.
Would you bring those to Glenn and
Yeah.
he will bring them to a
The
grant writer
leak
and
in
we
the
will
roof
apply?
is something that might be covered under an emergency grant that can come. So
We
we're
will-
not
we will-
looking for $1 million today.
We will do our
Next year
very
maybe, but
best.
not today.
We'll
no.
do our very best.
There are a lot of
Please-
grants
But
available.
please don't look for any more buildings to preserve. All right?
You can't stop me. Like I said, we
Frank?
just need to,
I know,
Just a
I know, there's a
designation, that's all we
passion.
need. There's no money
And
involved.
I recognize it and I appreciate it.
okay, speed is of the essence.
I can't hear Frank.
Speed is of the essence. Thank you, Mayor. I was just-
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Historical Society, for the great job you do. All right,
I'm sorry, Mayor. And our museum is open on first and third Sundays, 1:30 to 4. Stop by and see us.
that being said, we're going to need to go into executive session over litigation for about 10 minutes. I have 2 lawyers here and I want to go down to 1 lawyer so that I can pay for this building. That's why we're doing it first instead of last. All right? Go ahead.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore it be resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public portion of this meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 10 minutes to discuss the following matters: litigation. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion of this public meeting to consider any other matters which may be properly brought before it at this time. The nature and content of discussion which occurs in closed session shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Your motion?
I make a motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yep.
Tell me when you're ready. Make a motion to reconvene.
I'll take a motion to reconvene.
I make a motion to reconvene.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, with that, is there any old business? No. New business?
Introduction of the following ordinances. Ordinance number 1-24, ordinance authorizing acceptance of a deed of right-of-way dedication for a portion of Block 175, Lot 10.01 from the Place at Saraville LLC.
I'd like to make a motion to move the ordinance to be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on February 26th. And that's it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Calusi,
Yes.
Falca,
Yes.
Enoha. Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2-24, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 23 to 2027.
Councilman Balka?
Move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on February 26, 2024.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Balca,
Yes.
Calusi,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski. Ordinance number 3-24, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2023 to 2027.
Councilman Balka?
Move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on February 26, 2024.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Balca,
Yes.
Calusi,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski. Ordinance number 4-24, calendar year 2024, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank.
Councilman Balka?
Move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on 2/26/2024.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Balca.
Yes.
Calusi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to open the public portion for comments or questions on the resolutions only. Are there any questions or comments on the resolutions? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion. I'll second.
Okay,
Wait, we got to make a motion to close and adopt.
And adopt resolutions.
And I second.
roll call?
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Calusi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Correspondence?
Need a motion to accept the correspondence as listed on the agenda?
I make a motion to accept the correspondence as listed on the agenda.
Or second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilperson Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Calusi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Committee reports, Administration and Finance, Councilman Balka.
Thank you, Mayor. Finance is busy wrapping up the AFS from last year and getting real close to getting ready to introduce the budget, probably in March. Other than that, progress.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Councilman Zabrowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Just very quickly, we're having a weather event tomorrow, whether it's rain or snow. Just please be careful when you're going through the roads tomorrow. They're always a little icy, they're always a little slippery, so please take care in that. As far as our planning boards are concerned, both planning board and zoning board met for their first time after reorganization and heard their first applications. The Sarah Board, or Sarah Commission also met and they held their first reorganization meeting of the year and also heard an application, not an application, but a presentation for landfill 3. No action was taken on that and there will be additional discussion moving forward on that. And Mayor, that's my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Public Safety, Councilman Enoha.
Thank you, Mayor. Ultimately, progress with our Safety and Health Committee so far, and looking forward to more progress.
Thank you.
Updates. Thanks.
Public Works, Councilman Kalachi.
Okay, first off, the garbage pickup for Tuesday, for tomorrow, being with the weather, is canceled. So Tuesday's garbage will be picked up on Wednesday, and Wednesday's garbage will be picked up on Thursday. And it'll be posted on social media and the website. Okay. Next, I have French Street work has begun on the replacement of the storm drainage system. Then the men and women of Public Works have been very busy today when I visited. They're working on their preparation for the storm for tomorrow. The police station is getting a new coat of paint. And what else do we have? And the Parks Department is replacing playground equipment at the Evelyn Terrace Park. So they've been keeping busy. That's all I have. Progress.
Thank you, Councilman. Recreation, Councilman Sinarski.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a lot of progress. We have the 2024 schedule for all the events that are going to be going out throughout the course of the year. The Parks and Recreation is going to need camp counselors this summer. So anybody's looking for a part-time job as a camp counselor, we're also going to need boat ramp attendants. Other than that, progress.
Thank you. Water and Sewer / Environmental, Council President Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I get into that, thank you for attending the promotions and the new police officers swearing in. It was a very nice ceremony, and congratulations to everyone who was there. And because we are expecting snow, the community garden's not going to have much going on with it, but we have a lot of great plans in the Environmental Commission, and I can't wait to solidify them and share them with you in the future. Progress.
Okay, thank you. Where are we? Jessica, number 10.
Authorization for the tax collector to refund 2023 taxes and cancel all subsequently billed taxes due to 100% disabled veteran tax exemption covering 64 Scarlet Drive in the amount of $5,704.72. Authorization to auction the following on Municipid, Pitney Bowes Relay, mail folder inserter, and 3 multi-function copiers. Application for a person-to-person transfer of liquor license 1219-33-046-005 from Pooja Several LLC to 567 Several Liquor LLC located at 567 Main Street. All reports and paperwork have been filed. Authorization to don't.
Wait a minute. Any, Councilman Balco, you okay? That's admin and finance. Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Authorization to donate fire department equipment that has expired to the 911 fund. Authorization to award a contract to Tactical Public Safety for 2024 radio and pager maintenance through NJ State contract in an amount not to exceed $80,250.09. Request to travel received from several fire departments to attend the South Amboy St. Patrick's Day Parade on March 17th in South Amboy, and authorization for Morgan Hose and Chemical Company and Melrose Hose to attend a hazmat on-scene IC course on February 15th, 21st, 22nd, 28th, 29th, and March 6th in Hillsborough. Coin toss request received from Jersey All-Stars competitive cheer team for February 24th and 25th.
Okay. Councilman Anoha, any questions?
No, OEM is good with it and other public safety contacts.
Okay, I have a question. The Jersey All-Stars, is that a Saraville organization?
So we did look into it. They are out of East Brunswick, but it is a parent of a mother who wrote the letter.
No, I understand that. Is this a Saraville,
They're not here in Saraville.
So the question is,
I know.
I mean, I could say no, and I would say no to this because they're not Saraville people, and they'd be soliciting at the corner of Ernst and Washington for a non-Saraville issue. And having lived there for 37 years, you don't mind donating to your own, but it gets a little irksome when you're not. It's really there for our people. Is there anybody that sees it differently?
No, Mayor, but do we have anything,
Yeah, I can't.
sorry, I don't disagree with you, but do we have anything preventing that, and have we ever done it before?
Yeah.
So we have it in our ordinances to,
I don't know about the ordinance.
yeah, so I think
We
we
can
do.
have Matt look at it, but I don't think anybody is going to take us to court.
There is a resolution from 2010 about our organizations. However, last year, I don't know what was, they did get approved last year. I don't know what happened, but
What?
I have
what's
not
the
looked
role of
in-
the governing body. I mean, they're kids. I like to help kids, but in the same token, well, you know, they should hold this in East Brunswick.
yeah, I don't know how many cheerleaders are from Sayreville that are on that team.
Residents among this team?
We don't know.
There's at least one, I know, the parent who wrote the letter, at least one. I don't know if there's,
I think that there's several residents among them.
If there's a majority, I don't have I'm all for it. But if it's not, they're a little late in filing, so there are more dates in the year. So I would prefer that they respond to your questions about how many of your cheerleaders are Sayreville residents out of how many? All right?
send them an email
And
tomorrow,
then they can pick another date.
another day. Okay.
Are we all in agreement on that?
Yes.
Any disagreement? Okay.
Okay. Request received from Robert Downey, general contractor, to refund road opening permit fees totaling $658.52, covering several permits. Authorization to award a contract to Natural Green Lawn Care for infield renovations through ESCNJ Cooperative in an amount not to exceed $26,650. Authorization, you want to ask?
Yeah. Councilman Kalachi, any objection?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
Authorization to increase the following recreation programs: Summer Camp Burks Park, resident 270, non-resident 295. Summer Camp Burks Park Before Care option, participant $90. Youth tennis clinics, resident $120, non-resident $145. Summer STEM Camp, resident $165, non-resident $190. Application for special events received from the following: Dorcas Temple to conduct religious services and events on various dates on March 24th, March 30th, May 4th, August 26th, October 27th through November 2nd, November 9th, with alternate dates of November 10th and November 16th. Events will take place on their property. Majid Sadar and Community Center to hold a prayer service on April 10th and June 17th at Kennedy Park from 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Hey, Stash, any objection? Any of this? Okay. Next,
Glenn is up.
Glenn?
Authorization to appoint Robert Lasko and James Satorsky as part-time code enforcement officers effective February 16th.
Any objection? Next item?
Budget transfer resolution and authorization to refund escrow to Robert Downey General Contractor in the amount of $734.88. Thank you.
Okay. Jay?
Thank you, Mayor. Two items. The well maintenance contract's been completed, recommending a closeout and approval of a final change order with a $35,000 reduction. And second item, a resolution approving a change order for Elizabeth Avenue. That allows us to compensate the contractor for doing additional work required by the water department, but there's no change to the overall contract amount. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt, I am gonna, one of the things I did when I became mayor a little over a month ago, I put together a policy group of people to help me create policy. So the first topic was a year ago in February, I think it's I don't even know what the name of the month is. LBGT, is it? I think it's LBGTQ month. I'm not sure. And the flag was hung from the front of the building. And the pushback that I heard was really from veterans, because that flag was up for a month. And what the veterans said to me was, we get 2 days and we feel we've given more. And we don't think that they had no, I didn't hear anything negative about the issue. It was, we thought 30 days was far more for a lifestyle decision than it was for putting your life on the line. So that being said, I formed this committee and I have my 2 chiefs of staff on it. I have Reverend Malik from across the street in the Presbyterian Church. I have Rosetta Fisher. I have Andrew Valentine and Mitch Cooper. And I have Rita and Joe Abato on it. And they have come up, so the premise of this policy, which will come to the council, the lawyer is tweaking it, which is what lawyers do. And basically, there's a process. So as you're noticing in America, we're celebrating everything all year long. So there's a process that has to be followed. There's a flag that has to be supplied. But the front of the building is for our country, our state, and our veterans, period. There is another place down at the end of the parking lot with a flagpole. Ken Kelly is one of my chief of staffs. He's the man that designed all of the veteran monuments in front of Borough Hall. He did the 9/11 monument. He's a very talented man. And contrary to what Glenn had instructed me, I said, Ken, spend what you think is necessary to give due honor to the different things. It's a work in progress. So, Matt, I'm going to ask you in your report to go over the policy and what needs to be done to turn it into an ordinance so that there's no guesswork. And it's clear, it's transparent, and everybody likes a party, and we're here to have a party. So that being said, Matt.
Sure, Mayor, just very briefly, that the concept is that you have a community flagpole where if you're an organization, whatever your group may be, if you want to fly a flag on the community flagpole, that you can seek approval for doing that. You submit a form, you have to supply the flag, you indicate what it is you're looking to do, you indicate how long you're looking to have it up, and there's a uniform policy. So that way, it's fair to everybody. And, there's some restrictions. So, and it's a fine area of law. You have free speech rights. So you can put certain types of restrictions out, none others. And that's part of the problem. If you don't do the policy right, you don't want somebody saying, well, you like this group, so they're up, and that group you don't like. Can't do that. So it's open to everybody, but there are some restrictions on the types of obviously can't be profanity on it. It's certain types of topics may be off limits overall. But we've researched it. It's consistent with Supreme Court cases that upheld flag policies as constitutional, and as well as certain limitations on the flag policy. So the borough doesn't give up all control whatsoever by, if you fly one flag for one group, it's complete carte blanche. But there's some outer limits, and then within it, it's fair to everybody. As the mayor mentioned, because we're lawyers, we can't help but to tweak it just a little. But quite frankly, it was a very good policy, consistent with Supreme Court cases that have ruled on things like this. And so it's an opportunity for your residents to support what they want to support at the time they want to.
By the way, one of the ladies sitting up here did bring up that several days ago, it was National Pizza Day, and she felt jilted. So we'll try to accommodate her next year. Anything else?
I have nothing for me, Mayor.
Okay. So before I open the public portion, I'm going to have the attorney speak, and it's not to exclude anybody, but this is our town. And we need to, I always say, protect your town. And that's what this is about. It's so that an issue can be discussed in its proper place, in its proper time, in its proper form, without fear of retaliation, without lawsuits, and that we follow the law. That's the key thing. The law is to be followed. So Matthew, if you would.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief comment for folks who may be here to discuss. For folks who may be here looking to discuss the pending mosque application in front of the planning board, whether you're for it or against it. Just a couple quick things from a process standpoint. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, this is not the planning board. So an application is pending in front of the planning board. This body as a whole has no control over the planning board, what they do. So that said, some of the members here sit on that by law, but it's a separate body. However, sometimes people don't always understand that. The other problem, though, just to make sure everyone's aware of, is when you have a land use application, whether it's in front of the planning board or the zoning board, everyone has to get notice. If you live in 200 feet, if you ever had a notice sent to your house because somebody's building something that has to go in front of the board, you get notice. The reason you get notice is because that way, everybody who's interested is aware of that there's going to be a discussion at a public meeting on the topic. And it's also published in the newspapers for that purpose. The reason that that's critically important is that cases can be overturned when people don't have notice. So as an example, let's just say hypothetically, people come up here in support of an application pending in front of the planning board, and the planning board approves it. Well, people who are opposed to the mosque application or any planning board application could bring it to court and say, well, I didn't know this application I didn't know they were going to have a hearing on this today. There's members who were sitting on that board. They were influenced by what was said there, and I didn't have a chance to respond. Conversely, if the board turns it down because there was people who spoke opposed to it, people who support the application come back and say, well, I would have been there if I had known. So it's a public meeting. You're not going to be cut off. I know I'm the attorney, and people don't always listen to the attorneys. I'm just cautioning everybody. One, this board's not going to respond to any comments over an application that's pending in front of the planning board and as well as in litigation. I would just encourage everybody, please, take my words for it. I think everyone sees, knows that there's, people are here. That sends a message. There's not always a full room of people. I just caution you to think very, very carefully about whether you want to speak on the topic, and if so, what it is you want to say, recognizing this is not the planning board at a duly noticed hearing on an application which is pending. So with that long legal introduction, Mayor, if somebody calls for the public meeting.
Just so everybody knows, there is a 5-minute limitation. So you can make a comment for the record, but at the end of the 5 minutes, you will be advised that your 5 minutes is up. And so when you form what it is you wish to say, keep that 5-minute rule in mind, please. Okay, so with that, I'm going to open up the public portion for questions or comments. Robert? Bob Duffy. Mayor, the body that was here before we became mayor hired Salvatore Alfieri to represent the township in show cause. I've been calling Salvatore for the last week, and he's not returning my phone call. Is he still on the case, or do you have a new attorney handling it? Which case? It's the show cause order for 1235.
The urban landscaping operation at the foot of.
Oh, I don't know. Matt?
I believe he's still handling that matter. He's still handling litigation that he was handling. Yes.
Litigation. Is it possible that Wayne could give him a phone call so I can find out? You can't. The borough. I was approved to speak with him directly by the board. Is he? Wait a minute. Which board is he with? Bob? Council here. When was this? That I could speak to him. In the beginning, he said he couldn't talk to me because. Was this my predecessor? Yes. And the council voted on it. That's fine, but.
I could reach out to Alfieri and get him an update tomorrow, and I'll talk to Mr. Duffy and get it.
Yeah, Bob, I have to use, I can't set the precedent. Because if I allow one resident to have direct contact with a professional, which the taxpayer pays for, then in essence, I give permission for every resident to talk directly with professionals about the business of the borough, which is all billable hours. That's the thing. Now, I would ask that you give your questions to Glenn, and I will try to accommodate your request, but I can't allow you to speak to a professional to incur a billing that the taxpayers pay for. I can't, because if I allow you, I allow everyone.
I understand where you're coming from, Mayor, but it's by granting me, the council granted me to speak to him, okay? Doesn't mean every citizen can do the same thing. They have to get an approval from the council.
But-
And the
Go ahead.
council can say no to anyone else, or they could say yes. It's up to the council.
It's a new governing body, a new mayor. So this
But
being
law's the law.
said, this isn't a lifetime permission for you to incur debt on behalf of.
We're
the-
not saying it's a
the-
lifetime permission.
No,
I'm
no.
only talking to him dealing, I'm a neighbor. I see what's going on there, and Mayor, I've been following this for 4 years. Going to every court date in the municipal court. I wasn't allowed to go to Superior Court because it was oral arguments. Okay? He's not abiding by the order. And it needs to be, the judge in the Superior Court needs to know this so they can shut him.
This is ongoing litigation.
Right.
The only thing I can talk about is whether you have the right to talk to a professional that the borough employs at taxpayer expense. And my answer is no. I can't give any resident the right to incur a bill on taxpayers' dime. I can't do that, because then I give 45,000 people the same right.
But you're not giving every 45 days.
If I
They
give
have
it to
ask-
you-
They have to ask your permission. They have to ask permission to do that.
And what, Bob?
That's what I was told.
I can't give it to you. I can't speak for the governing
Well, then
body.
how do I find out what's going on with the litigation? Tell me how to do it.
I would go back to the board.
Right
He
here.
can't,
Here,
the
no,
reason you don't
council.
hear from
It's
him
not
is
the board, it's the council.
he can't, no, the land use board.
I can get him an update.
You're
All right,
being
Glenn will reach out and try to get you an update.
Yeah, it's a show cause order, and the council gave me the authority
Yes,
to
that
talk
was
to the
then.
profession.
Now we're in a new year and a new administration. I cannot grant that.
Well, every administration I would have to get an okay from?
Like I said, it's
Can
not
I
a
ask
life,
the
it's not a
attorney, is that
lifetime
right?
permission.
Is that law?
You can talk to me. Glenn will try to get an update for you and he will inform you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay.
Duffy, if you give me a call tomorrow morning, if you have specific questions, I'll get answers for you.
I just want to know where it's at. If this litigant is breaking the law, the judge needs to know that. That's all I'm saying. The judge is in New Brunswick.
We
He
can't
doesn't
get
know
involved
what's
in
going
this.
on.
Bob, this is ongoing litigation. We can't discuss it with you individually or publicly. Because
Yes,
it'll
ye-
affect
ye-
the
ye-
case.
Yes, you can. You have to, wait a minute. You're not an attorney. I'm a neighbor, and I'm letting you know.
I cannot allow something in litigation to be discussed in a public forum.
So who can discuss it with you? Kurt Mick, Andrew, zone enforcer, nobody, if I can't talk, who can?
You're asking for something that's not practical. I cannot discuss an ongoing case
I'm not asking you to
publicly.
discuss it.
I cannot allow a resident to have access to a borough professional where it's all billable hours. When you call them, the little clock they have on their desk that starts the timer to bill properly, that's what happens.
As a resident, do I pay taxes? Does those taxes go to
I
the
have
building?
11,000 homeowners
I
that
know
pay
you're
taxes.
throwing a lot of numbers out, but it's not making logic.
Bob, I'm not telling you what you want to hear, and that's where I think you're getting upset.
I'm telling you what you don't want to hear.
Well,
Thank
yeah,
you,
but the
Mayor.
difference is, the young lady in the back, That'd be you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Can you pull that down? Yeah. You're very petite.
I'm Ruth Ann Mahoney at 2 Girard Place in Portland. I just have two concerns. I make notes. I'm concerned regarding the reversal of letting call-ins on Zoom. Call-in, how residents could call in on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
My concern is, I'm an aging person. I don't like to drive at night. And we have people who are ill, elderly, homebound, who wish they could be here, but can't get here. And they are concerned. They have concerns, they're residents. And I think rather than taking that step backward in this modern technology age, we should use what we've paid for and reinstate that ability to let them call in. They'd have the same 5 minutes, but I think they deserve, who can't be here, that right. They are taxpayers.
You understand what the purpose of this meeting, this is for the business of the borough. Now, there are many ways to contact everyone sitting up here. Every elected official has a public phone number. So you can call an elected official, you can call the staff, you can email, and we will respond.
I don't think it's as effective because the rest of the residents in the town who can be here, hear all of us who speak. They don't know what you've all received. We don't get a copy of what everyone's received. So it's not as transparent as having the ability to speak. My opinion, my thought. Okay. My other concern is, it's on a sort of a personal note. A few years ago, I went to a planning board meeting in your previous administration, and I feel I was disrespected by one of the gentlemen on the planning board. He has now been reinstated to a position on the planning board. He told me I was wasting his time, and other things. It gives me concern that, and he also said that the apartments that are being built at Main Street and the Main Street extension would not be built in my lifetime. Well, here I am, and they're being built. My concern is the transparency of this gentleman and his ways, his disrespect of a resident, and he's back on the board. And I think my personal interaction with him was not good. I hope other people have not had that same interaction. And with everything that needs to be decided in this town right now, gives me worry. Thank you all.
Thanks, Ruth Ann. Are there any other questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
Hello. How are you all? I hope you're all well. Samaya Sidar, 147 Jackson Avenue, Parley, New Jersey, 08859. I just wanted to support what...
We couldn't hear you.
Oh, hello. I'm Samaya. Do you hear me better now?
How do you say your full name?
Samaya Sara Sidar.
You have a very soft voice.
I'll try to speak a little louder. I just wanted to second about the Zoom call. Like, before I came to the meeting today, I thought it was going to only be in person. And when I heard about the Zoom calls, they were thinking about canceling those or not. I was a little worried because I had a class in New Brunswick, but my class got canceled and thankfully I'm here. But I think the Zoom call allows for so much engagement in so many people's lives. So maybe if it was something about maybe like the cameras being off or like, you don't know credentials of people behind it. Maybe like we can fix something about that, but the Zoom calls or a different platform allows so much engagement from people that wouldn't be allowed to come here. Maybe they're busy at work, or maybe they have school, or maybe they have family at home they can't leave, and still allow like everything, them to know what's going on in the town. So if we could just try to do something with that, or like adjust it in a way to still inform residents and allow them to participate and know. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening. My name is Joe Karmazin, 322 Ernston Road. I'm really going to be quick. I'm here to request an additional lawyer for the 216 Ernston Road application, just to help with overseeing everything with an expert. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. I'm Nikki Vocio, and I live at 12 Dunlap Drive, Parlin, New Jersey. I wanted to second his request to get an expert to just evaluate everything from an independent and fair point of view. If somebody could put forth the motion tonight to get the ball rolling, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Kim Uvari, 15.
Can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I'm Kim Uvari, 15 Lewis Street. I would also like to request an additional attorney to look at the plans because it seems very complicated. And I just want to make sure that us residents are getting a fair shake, at the situation that may be.
Just so everybody understands, I understand.
We're just requesting.
No, I understand the nature of the request.
Yes.
But this is something the planning board has to initiate. It's not something the governing
Okay, but
body
we'd like to
does.
put it on record that we're asking
Yes,
and
yes.
requesting that it would be in the best interest of the surrounding neighbors.
It will be, I will relay it to the planning.
Thank you
board.
very much. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, anyone else? That being, yes. Yes. Ladies first, my friend.
Hi, Allison Hornbeck, 7 Driftwood Drive. I am here tonight to ask the council members to please bring a motion to approve an additional attorney who's an expert to help the planning board and the residents who feel that the building.
I just want to make sure that everyone's very clear, because the mayor just commented. I just want to make sure, one, this board does not approve any experts or hire lawyers for the planning board. This is not the planning board. Nothing regarding this application is coming in front of this board tonight or any other night. This is not if the planning board needs experts, the planning board will hire whatever experts it needs. If they need them, you have a planning board attorney, you have planning board members. I just want to make it clear that this board, there's no motion that will be made. There's nobody, they don't have the authority to do that. It's a separate statutory body who hires their professionals as they deem fit.
So is the Borough Council allowed to hire an attorney on behalf of residents?
No, it's the planning board, the borough hires
And
a
on
planning
behalf
board
of
attorney.
themselves?
The residents, just like an applicant, can hire whomever they want.
Right.
But the borough has hired a planning board attorney. The planning board attorney is the attorney for the board. That's just like I'm the attorney for, the board here. I'm not the attorney for the residents on any issue. So the planning board has its lawyer. If they have special, they can hire professionals on any application when it comes to, they have an engineer, they have a planner. If there's unique issues on an application, then they can hire, if they need to, they can hire those professionals. But that board determines it. That board votes on it. That board determines how it's paid for. Sometimes it comes out of an escrow from the applicant. Sometimes it comes out of the board's budget. But it's
So who on the Borough Council is on the planning board?
I am, as the mayor,
Okay,
and Councilman Zabrowski is.
Okay, so next week is the planning board. Is this something that you would be willing to listen to in that
Ma'am,
capacity?
this board cannot, and I'm not going to allow them to, comment on the planning board application. You need to come in front of the
Right,
planning
not on
board.
the application.
No, but that's still the process. This is not the board that, even though that maybe two members here, and that's why I'm saying this board cannot comment on this.
Right, and I understand that.
Even including them saying what they would or wouldn't consider, they cannot talk about how they would vote on an issue in front of the planning board tonight.
Right.
Nor should they,
Would they be willing to?
no, ma'am, they're not going to answer that question. You have to come in front of the planning board to ask that question. It cannot be done here.
Okay, all right, so then, next week, the meeting. So two other things that I had. I have been looking for a road department plan to upgrade roads and curbs, and I can't find it for 2024. Where on the website
Jay?
would I find that?
Mayor, I think on your website, under the Public Works Department, there's a list of roads that are scheduled
Not
to
for
be paid.
2024.
Well, 2024, they haven't decided yet. They haven't adopted the capital budget for 24, so the roads that are going to be used with the funding are not decided yet. Last year's roads are what will be constructed this year, and I believe there's a list.
So the
of-
2023 list is what I'm looking at for this year.
They'll be paved in 24, correct?
Okay, so whatever's approved this year. Now, when does that happen? What month of the year would that be decided for next year?
It's typically after your budget's adopted, so it's usually summer timeframe approximately.
Is it summer? Okay. Because our neighborhood in Oak Tree East, we've been there since December of 66, has never had a road or a curb. On Driftwood, never, ever. I've been there, lived there my whole life. There are a few roads because of issues, sinkholes or whatever, but the whole neighborhood as itself, I mean, the sewers are falling in, the curbs are crumbled, we get grass growing in the summer, just run a lawnmower down the street.
And that's why on January 1st, when I gave my speech about what I hope to accomplish, the first thing was to mitigate the traffic. The second thing was, in the past number of years, road repair, road replacement, along with curbs, sidewalks, became more of a political checkerboard. And as a result, very little got done. That is the second priority of my administration, is to get this
So
done.
your top two priorities are really what is affecting our neighborhood because of that Wawa gas station. The traffic in our neighborhood is and the garbage is it's outlandish. It's disgusting. It's crazy. Go ahead and drive through, sit there for a while and just see the traffic and the
People
trash
cut
and the
through
roads.
your neighborhood to get to Wawa?
Absolutely.
The one on Route 9?
All hours of the day and night. And I'm not joking. 2
Okay.
o'clock in the morning, you
Wait,
can
wait.
see.
Jay, would you and Glenn and the police department take a look at this, see if there's a way to mitigate it? All right, well, I know where you are, but I don't know the details of your neighborhood, so.
Yeah, no,
Let-
it's gotten very bad and, the traffic and the trash.
Yeah, no.
And people blowing through the stop signs
Yeah.
and trying to pull out of the neighborhood
Yep.
is just awful too. So,
Yep.
all right, third point really quick, just, Mr. Mayor, I just want to say that if somebody is a member of the LGBTQ community, it's really not a lifestyle decision, just any more than being autistic would be a decision. It is who they are and they really don't decide. So I just found it a little
No
bit demeaning.
disrespect was meant.
Okay.
It
All right,
it
I'm
was
just trying to
really,
clarify.
it was a comment from ignorance. All that being, I'm not familiar with it in depth. But I am familiar enough to know that everybody deserves each other's respect.
But I just want you to.
And
it's
that's what
not a
I'm trying
decision.
to accomplish.
Right. It's not a lifestyle decision. It's just how God made them. So,
Okay. But do you understand the veterans' point of view?
No, absolutely. And I have a lot of veterans in my family. No, but that wasn't what.
That
it
was my
It's
point.
not a, yeah,
That was my
it's not a
point.
decision. Okay. Thank you.
As I said, no one had an objection. They
No,
had the
I don't object.
objection.
It's just the phrasing and that's all.
I'll try better.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there other questions or comments? That young fellow in the back had a question? my friend.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, Councilwomen. My name is Syed Ali from 44 Kearse Street, Harlan. I just have one quick question, perhaps for the Public Works. You know the road from Bordentown by the Quick Check gas station? That road was closed for almost a month for whatever work they were doing. And I normally take it because I take my kids from here to South River. So instead of going through the high school, middle school traffic, I cut through there. It was a whole month. They closed it for whatever they did. Now they're open, but the road is still bumpy. I don't know if that warehouse that built there was supposed to repave the road, but they didn't do a good job. So
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to close again for another month. It's just a so inconvenience, not for just for me, but I'm worried about those residents who live there, actually. They probably have difficulty.
We have an expert.
The residents referring to Minnesink Avenue, which was closed, they had to replace all the utility lines underneath the railroad bridge. That work was done. They put the base course of paving down, not the top course, because in the winter, it's not the appropriate time to put the final paving.
see.
So approximately another month, when the weather's warmer, they're going to repave that
repave.
portion of the roadway, and that'll address your
Hopefully
concerns.
they could do it in a day or two, because they close it for a good.
That's, it'll only be a couple days, correct,
All
yes.
right, all right, and I just wanted to appreciate your leadership for acknowledging the Muslim Heritage Month last month. I feel the sense of ownership after you became the mayor. I feel like we're part of the
How
community.
long have you lived in town?
About 10 years, but I have not been involved in the local politics up until 4 or 5 years from now. So thank you so much for your leadership. Continue doing.
Live in America.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there other questions? Yes, sir.
My name is Ghalib Sayed, 3 Sophie Street, Harlan. I think the problem, you probably are aware of it, that I have filed a complaint with the electrical company to fix the light bulbs in August. So that did not.
In the street light?
A street light, yes. I fix my own lights on my home lights, but a street light. July, actually, I have complained. It went by, nothing happened. August came by, nothing happened. But today was a big ceremony. But that ceremony, they came and fixed the light, but we had to pay the price because just this morning, my son's car was broken into. They cut the pipe and took the catalytic converter, right, right. So that's something. And there is a Deborah, there's a one street light off. Then there's a Vernon Street. There's 2 poles are also. So I think we do go to the site, several site, website, where you suggest to go and file the complaint with the company, which we do, but they don't listen to the citizens. So I think there has to be something done from the city to enforce whatever legal means you need to follow through. So that's something, and I appreciate that it was taken care of. I brought in your attention, and thank you for taking care of that. Toll number 658 is your campaign slogan in your next election.
We may have some more news that you'll find pleasing.
By way of update, this came up at the last meeting. The mayor and council has asked my office to pursue more aggressive legal responses to the company to get those things fixed. We've done 2 things. So there's a process of filing a complaint with the Board of Public Utilities that anybody can do. You may have done the same thing, and there's 2 parts of it. It's an informal and a formal. We've started the process putting together a petition on the informal, which is they like that when they can. So we're following kind of the preferences. The other thing that we've done is I reached out to some contacts that I had with the company. And luckily, when I told them what town, I kid you not, the person I spoke to said, wait, that's Kennedy? Kennedy's back there? And I said, yes. And the person I knew, it's not the person for this region, but told me that if it was for Kennedy, then he would help get it moving. And promised me that there'd be more teams out there.
Thanks.
So we are continuing to follow up with them. So hopefully, it's not my
There's a light
threats
at
of
the end
legal
of the
action,
tunnel.
but the mayor's reputation that may help get this done. But we'll play both sides. And if
But for a push and pull will
good,
work.
good cop,
Yeah.
bad cop. So.
The two other things is I would also echo the two young ladies who have brought in your attention the Zoom implementation we had, and it was terminated for whatever reasons to participate interactively. And it's actually very useful, and you have full control over it, because when we want to participate in the meeting through the Zoom, you have full control. You allow the audible you control basically all the audibles. So I would suggest or request rather to revert that and place it back again. And again, the third thing is that we want to thank you for recognizing Muslim community and our participation in town. And we do participate in meetings. We have other activities going on in town. So thank you for your reclamation for Muslims. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Well, just want to say welcome back.
Thank you.
And,
Can you pull the mic down a little bit? You're also petite.
okay, not really, but I'll take it. I would like to Zoom too, because if you had to Zoom, my daughter could be speaking right now. And this is about her.
I need your name and address.
My name is Barbara Sarnecki, and I live on Swider Drive in Portland.
I read to your daughter in grammar school.
My daughter had lunch with you when she was in 4th grade, and it was a great day for her. She still talks about it.
He was a younger man.
She's 30 now, so. But anyway, I don't know how 5 minutes is going to do it, but I'm coming here to ask for help. Maybe you could help us. We need to get out of where we live. My daughter's.
I'm familiar with your
Yeah,
case.
we sent you a letter. And the problem with the whole thing is this has been going on for years. And now they put us somewhere else and said there was no mold, and she got worse. And it's to the point already where so many things can be happening to her that already aren't happening to her. She can't live her life if she's not added there. Okay, so we have somebody that's going to come remediate, but it's like 4 apartments downstairs and 4 upstairs. So it's like having a big home and 1 room is getting remediated. There's mold in the whole building. We can't wait any longer. She has to get out of there. The doctors say she will not get better if she's not living in a mold-free environment. It's
Barbara, this is, now, my staff has worked with you they're very patient and they worked with you. The Housing Authority worked with you. What you're asking for is beyond my power to give to you. But what I can do is we can write to a federal level, because you live in HUD housing.
right.
All right, so we can write to our congressman and our state senator and explain your plight and ask for their intercession. All right, but what you asked for is beyond my power to give to you. If it was, I would gladly help you. But you are in a program that has defined rules, and and they require everyone in that program to work within those confined rules. So I will have a letter composed and sent to Congressman Pallone
Okay.
and to our State Senator Booker.
I had been in contact with him when they were having us move to the other apartment, because the last one, we had to get an environmentalist because she was already sick and there was a leak for years and years and years. So it finally did get remediated by us, which they didn't pay for the environmentalist because I got her on my own, which I had no choice. My daughter has mold in her body. I have the reports for that. I have the whole report of what they just did now, what they did 4 hours he was there. They did an air test November 10th after me screaming, because when they put us there, this apartment, we knew that there was mold there because she got worse. They kept ignoring it. They didn't want to hear it. Finally, they sent somebody to do an air test on November 10th.
Oh, have our code inspectors gone to your apartment?
I don't remember them going.
All right, so
But
we will have our code inspectors go to
But
your
the fact of
apartment.
the matter is, I already had somebody, they're going to remediate. I have a very, very lengthy report of what's going on there. But we have to get out of there. This is really a life thing. She has to get out of that building. We have to get out of there. They've lied to us. They put us here because we had to downsize. We fought and fought. That's when I got in touch with Frank Pallone's office when we were in the other place, because we didn't want to go there because this one was finally remediated. Oh, they did the test. We fought as much as we could, and then they said either we go there or we get evicted. There's no mold there. They did testing, blah, blah, which their testing is nothing. When he came on November 10th to do the air test, nobody knows where the results of that test even are. He did my apartment and the one next to it. But December 4th, I asked the same environmentalist to come back, and they did a 4-hour thing, and that's when they found that the Stachybotrys, the toxic black mold, there's so much of it in there, and the penicillin aspergillus. Now, these are things that could cause cancer because my daughter already has a no good immune system. She had Lyme and chronic illnesses, and then from all the mold for so many years there, and now this mold seems to be even worse. So if you can do something to try to get us out of there.
Let me cover everything, because there's limitations on what we're allowed to do. So we will write and contact the local congressman, Congressman Pallone, and our state senator Booker, and we will go over your issues with Lakeview Apartments. I will have our code inspectors come to your apartment. You're going to need to do you have the address, Nicole? We have your address and your phone number. So we'll set it up and we'll get to work on it right away.
But they need to check the whole building, the other apartments. They have mold too. Not
We're
just,
going to deal with yours first.
but mine is already going to be remediated. I'm concerned about, even though my apartment's going to be remediated, she can't stay there because of all the mold in the other,
Have you
the rest of the
contacted
building.
HUD?
Yes.
We're going to ask the congressman and the senator, their staff. It's always the staff that takes care of everything.
I have all
And-
the papers here, any
I get it,
reports
I
you
get it.
want of her health.
When
of-
our code inspectors come to you, they will go over it with you. And we will ask for them to intercede and to help you. You're an original tenant, if I understood correctly.
Well, not pretty original,
Yeah.
not right from the beginning, but
1980?
no, 1987.
Yeah, okay.
December of 1987,
Okay.
so. But she's suffering, and I'm worried about her because she got so much worse.
Has she applied for her own apartment?
No, we can't live there. First of all, they can't, like I said, they can't be trusted. This apartment
You know,
seems worse than the last
My
one.
understanding, dear, is you don't have a lot of options because you can apply, but there's more people applying than there are apartments.
But
And that's what you're
this
up
has to do
against.
with her health.
I understand
This
that.
is the thing, this is a.
But if we have no
issue.
place, if there's no place to put her. So let us
Come on.
work, let us
We need
work
to
on
find
this.
someplace to put her. They're placing so many people everywhere. Everybody's coming in and they're placing them. They can't find a place for my daughter.
We'll
Like,
work on
come
it.
on.
We will work on it.
Tell me where else to go. Tell me who else I can tell my story to, because she has to find a clean, mold-free, safe place to live. And this is why I wish there was the Zoom thing right now, because you could hear her and what she goes through every day and how she suffers. She's dizzy. She can't She has heart palpitations. I mean, everything is
brought her to
wrong
the
with her. No, she's at home
Why don't you bring her to the hospital?
because they don't take care of her. She has to go to doctors. The insurance doesn't even cover.
All right.
Do you understand? You seem to be shaking your head. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
So please,
we
if
will-
anybody wants to give me a number or any
Barb.
kind of help, can I give you my number? Anybody that could help me in any way? Because this
we
is
will
really
come see you
detrimental
tomorrow.
here.
We
And
will
time
come
is
s- Barb,
passing.
Barb, you're not paying attention. We will come see you tomorrow and we will work on it with everything at our disposal. May not meet your needs, but it's everything that we have. So
Yeah, but you're gonna, what are you
I
gonna?
don't know. I don't know the answer. Let
You're
me
not
see
gonna
if
get
this
us
is
out
a
of there,
solution.
correct?
Beg your
You're
pardon?
not gonna get us out of there, correct?
I'm not getting you out of there. Where am I gonna put you?
I'm just saying, so the remediation's gonna be done and we're still gonna have to live there. With the
don't
rest
know.
of the
I don't know
building
the
having
answer to
all
that
the
question.
mold.
You have
So
hundreds of
that I already
apartments
took
there.
care of.
Barb.
With the remediation, they're
Okay.
coming to do that. That's not solving our problem. That's not solving her problem. That whole development, if they did the proper testing, it would be shut down. I'm telling you right now. Something has to be done, and I need somebody to help my daughter.
We are starting in the morning.
Don't know what you can accomplish. There's nothing that they could do with the codes. We already know what's wrong. We already know what has to be done, and they're already going to do it in my apartment. But that's not enough. That's what I'm trying to say. And we had to get the remediation people to do it because we can't trust them.
I don't have a solution for you.
So nobody has a solution. I mean, for one,
What is it,
person.
what is it that you want?
I want somebody to get my daughter a clean, mold-free place to live.
Do you have a case, when you're using, do you have a caseworker?
Right now, I've
Yeah.
spoken to different people from HUD. I called so many numbers.
And what did they say?
They all give me different numbers. I was at the Housing Authority meeting last week. It's like nothing but a runaround. I'm coming to, I don't know who to go to help me in
When
this.
you've had issues, so you're there 30, 40 years,
Well, they weren't there when I was first there. She wasn't
but you're there 40 years.
No.
All that being said, let's try to resolve this from the borough, with the borough resources. That's the first
It's not
step.
gonna be resolved this way. I need to find someplace else for her.
I'm
Nobody
not
seems
set
to
up for
be
that.
Listening.
No, you know, Barbara,
This is
you
why
have
I
to
wish she
listen.
could have been talking right now. Because you would have seen what she goes through every day. This can't be, honestly, she can't stay there. And I just
Where would you
don't,
like to
I don't
go?
know, tell me.
I
You tell
don't
me
know.
where-
I
Come
don't
on,
know.
it's one,
Barb, I
it's
don't
my
know.
daughter, for my daughter, like, come on, it's one person.
She can't live with her brothers? She
No.
has two brothers, right?
Yes,
You
she
have
has
two
two
sons and a
brothers.
daughter, right?
Well, my daughter passed away. My other
I'm
daughter
sorry. I'm
passed
sorry.
away.
Can she go live with her brother?
No,
Okay, I'm running out of options because I'm not, the borough's not in the housing business. So I have to work with what's available.
so in other words, we have to stay there.
Tonight you do, that's for
Place that,
sure.
That's killing her. We have to stay there.
Barb, you've been there 40 years.
She hasn't been there 40
Well, she's been there
years.
30.
And this problem occurred. We didn't know she started having chronic illness and Lyme as a child. And then because of the mold issue there, she got worse. Her immune system was compromised. And then finally, when something was done there, they sent us somewhere else saying there was no mold there. And then she got worse because she's already, her immune system is so compromised and there's so many things already wrong with her. Nobody wants to listen.
We
I
will
mean,
try
come on,
to
there's
Barbara,
find a place
listen,
for everybody.
listen, stop this. We will try to help you to the best of our abilities. Now, our abilities and your needs may not coincide, but we will try to the best of our
And
abilities.
it's a matter of our life.
I'm sorry for your troubles, but this is what we're going to do.
Well, that's not really helping.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Being no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
Make a motion to close the public portion?
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone.
Motion to
A
adjourn.
motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Second? Is there a second? Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.